was decent.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live with Link's Awakening DX and Astronumous. Best of luck to you on your run. Floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So this is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX Reverse Boss Order. So I'm just gonna create my file here, and time starts when I say go when the file selects. So we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is Reverse Boss Order. As the name suggests, we will be fighting all of the bosses in reverse order, excluding the final nightmare fight, which does not die so completely after we defeat it, so it does not technically count for the reverse boss order to be completed. Another thing to note is that I am playing on the Japanese 1.0 version of the game. This means that I will be playing with Japanese text, and I will be having all the glitches that have been patched in later versions. So if you're thinking of running this on a 1.1 or 1.2 cartridge, it just won't work. Coming up here, I'm going to be grabbing the sword, and I'm just going to do a... Oh, whoops. Well, what you normally do there is you would damage boost off the Gordo there, and then it would just take you straight over to the sword, and you skip a 2-second cutscene, but this still saves a little bit of time. So now I'm going to be going for 10 rupees, and now under ordinary circumstances, this would be a pain, but we're going to be doing a trick called rupee duplication, where when we pick up a rupee while having our shield out, every other frame, we can... the game will count a rupee hitting both the hitboxes, and we can duplicate them and get rupees really fast. Now let's see if the grass likes us today. We just need one more. Ooh, very nice. Alright, so now this game is going to teach us valuable lessons about life. So we're gonna die here because, you know, we stole, so of course it's whatever. Oh, but actually, the real lesson we learn is that your actions do not have consequences, and you can just kind of steal again. So actually what's interesting here is actually an interesting bit of tech that anyone can do. If you save and quit right after you purchase an item, the rupees act sort of like the Earthbound health bars, where it'll keep scrolling down until interrupted. And what we do is that as soon as we purchase an item, we don't let the rupees scroll down all the way, so we just keep our rupees. So some more text here. So coming up here, we're going to be doing a trick called a bomb trigger. And I'll do it real quick before I talk about it, because it's not super advanced, but it's a little bit complicated in terms of how it actually works. Let's line ourselves up. And then, bam. We didn't even need the powder, and we just activated Terra. Now we can just go straight over to the Dungeon 1 key. So, basically what a bomb trigger is if you place 2 bombs within 2 frames of each other, it will activate the 0th object on a given screen. And for a lot of screens, that is a cutscene, and so we abuse that to activate certain cutscenes and skip entire portions of the game. For instance, getting Marin by doing that for the Walrus in other categories. So now we're just entering Dungeon 1. This is probably as normal as the run's going to get, by the way. As soon as we get the feather, that's when things get really, really crazy. Okay, and good RNG. So another thing about this category is, unlike most of the popular categories for this game, we are able to do anything. We have no restrictions of out of bounds or wrong warping. We won't be doing any wrong warping in this specifically, but we will be going out of bounds a lot. So now we're going to be picking up the feather. And I'm going to be doing a trick called a super jump. And again, like with bomb triggers, I'm going to miss the chest. No, I'm going to do the trick first and then I'll explain it. Just clip here, get the hearts, and then bam. And then now we're out of bounds, and then, oh hey, we're zipping. And then we're just going to do this for a little bit. And then anytime now. We're in Dungeon 3 now. Ooh, we're good. So basically how that trick works is if you clip yourself into the wall and then push up against it and jump, if you do any action or use an item that will change your orientation to the opposite direction, it will act like you jumped off of a cliff, and you can use that height to go over things. So now we got the boots. So now things are going to be a lot faster. We're not just going to be walking around everywhere. Now, we delayed getting this key earlier because we actually need that to leave this room. And now we're just gonna do probably one of the most annoying rooms in the game. Just because of the RNG. Because this Stalfos Knight can just be a pain. And then we're just gonna do another one of these, and then do another zip. And now... oh hey, we're in Dungeon 4 now! Don't mind the sprites, it's fine. Living platforms, fish with swords, it's fine. Perfectly fine. And nice, first try. So that trick is very hard. It has a 2-pixel window. It's called a dash super jump. So, just as the name suggests, a dash super jump requires that you dash. Wow. That you do a dash jump at the wall. And if you... for some weird reason, it acts as if you're clipped, and then you can just do a super jump from that location, and then we need a max height there. Also, what we just did there is called a super swim, which is basically just a super swim in a super jump in the water, and that basically gives you no clip abilities. It has to do with how the game deals with layering. We don't talk about that. The only caveat is that if you were to transition down, it would actually soft lock the game and you'd have to reset. Well, not even soft lock, like the game pretty much crashes. But there's only one time in the run where that's even an issue, but that can easily be backed up. So now we're just gonna casually stroll on over to Dungeon 5. We're gonna be fighting Master Stalfos. So what I just did is I stood on a pixel known as the Disclude pixel, found by Disclude of course, where if you stand there and then shoot perfectly horizontally, Master Stalfos will always go the same pattern. That is the wrong equip. So now we're just going to be fighting Master Stalfos a bunch. A key thing to note is that if we get hit at all, we lose Super Swim state. And that's bad. Because we actually have to pretty much restart from Dungeon 1. Well, actually, no, because we have Bracelet from Dungeon 3. But it's really not that bad. Also, since we have some time here, just kind of chilling. You may be wondering, why am I able to go to all of these locations on one map? And this is because this is a Game Boy game ported to the Game Boy Color. It basically has a lot of things on the same map. So dungeons 1 through 6 are on Underworld 1, and dungeons 8 through 7 are on Underworld 2. And so we can basically abuse that to go pretty much anywhere. So now we're going to be grabbing the Ocarina, which is actually required for this run. A lot of runs don't require the Ocarina, but this one does. Because, well, for several reasons, but one of them being one coming up. So we're going to bonk here. I'm going to try to see if I can get this. Ah, bad RNG. Okay, so basically that trick is sub-pixel based. And it can be really... oh my god. Come on, game, please. Be nice to me. Okay, finally. So, we need to be on the right sub-pixel there to get the zip. Also, this is called a book shot. If you have the hook shot on the B button, you can do that quickly. Now, I'll explain everything as soon as I get this, because this is really important. Nice, we got it. Okay. So, this is Mambo, as you can see. So, basically, what's happening there for that super jump is that there are 2 pixels you can land on, and there are certain sub-pixel setups that can really mess with how that works. So if you're on the low sub-pixel, the low pixel, you have to do a full height, and if you're on the high pixel, it's a 50-50 as to whether or not you can get it. And it's really jank. Anyways, what we just got here is called debug speed. Essentially, how this works is if you enter a cutscene from a weird area, it will get confused and put you in your kind of debug state. That is not what I wanted. So now we got the level 2 bracelet and the magic rod here. Don't question it. And now we're in Dungeon 8, by the way. Don't worry about it. We're just in Dungeon 8. Nothing to see here. We're gonna pick up these arrows because we need them for later. So what we're gonna be doing here is called a lava swim. And essentially, if you swipe your sword on the same frame that you transition onto lava, it will think that you're swimming. Ah, that was bad. It was a good pattern, and then I was in a bad position. So important to note that I can't take a hit here. Oh my. Okay, and that's the fight. Excuse me? Okay, game. And that's Hothead. He's a pain in the neck. Where he spawns is pretty much RNG. So that's our first boss. A little rough, but it's fine. So yeah, so now that we're done with Dungeon 8, we've barely just started. Anyways, we're gonna abuse the fact that now that we have Mambo's Mambo, we can just quickly get to the Mambo's Pond, and that's gonna be our route position for basically where we're gonna be warping to for the rest of the run. So now we're gonna make our way over to the Dream Shrine. Again, believe it or not. And so you know how I mentioned how Dungeon 8 and Dungeon 7 are on the same map as Underworld 2? The Dream Shrine is a part of Underworld 2, so we can abuse that to get to both dungeons. Also, since we have a bit of time here, one of the key things about LADX speedrunning is the menu. So you're going to see me I have a menu route that I'm always doing. Also, here comes probably the hardest super swim in the game. It's got a 3 to 4 pixel window. And we got it, nice. It's kind of precise because you have to do the super swim inputs while also on the right pixels. So now we're just going through the game in a totally normal fashion. Nothing to see here. Also, so what we just did there are some enemy pushes. So essentially, the game doesn't like it when you transition onto an object, so it will just keep pushing you forward. And we abuse that to get some speed. And now we're in Dungeon 7. And we're gonna do a trick called Pillars Skip. Well, first off, P-Hat Clink. And then I'm gonna do Pillars Skip, and I'll explain once we finish it, because this is actually probably the second hardest trick in the run. Okay, bad pixel. Nice, okay. So, what I just did there is I abused a mechanic called shield bumping. So essentially, if you're in a wall like that, and you jump and use the shield, the game will keep trying to push you out. And so what we do there is we do that to get to a filler-ish room. It's an official room. It's a debug room, essentially. And we abuse that to get to the boss quickly without knocking down the pillars. Another cool little trick. We can just kind of hook shot through the menu and hit the eagle. Now he's dead. Nothing to see here. What boss fight? Missed the timing, but it's fine. So that's Dungeon 7. Honestly, the hard part's kind of over now. We have officially gotten past the hump in terms of like how absolutely difficult this is. So now this is the main reason why we need Mambo's Mambo. So because we never actually opened up Dungeon 7, we get stuck here. So we actually need to get the song. If I had just, you know, done that. Anyways, now we're going to make our way to Dungeon 6 in the perfectly intentional way. We're just going to, you know, go up north. You know, the normal way. I think I'm gonna take a pit stop by the Heart Piece Cave. You know, the one with the water by the warp portal. I want to take that to get there real quick. Nice, these enemies are not annoying. Very nice. Okay. Like, please. So I'm just gonna take the scenic route real quick. Oh, thank you, like. I'm just gonna take the scenic route. We're just gonna, you know, grab the heart piece. Just for good luck, you know. Now I'm just gonna, you know, super swim, go out of bounds. I'm just gonna go through here. And then, oh hey, we're in Dungeon 6 now. Look at that. Now, we actually have to sit through this tile room no matter how grueling it is, because we need the key to get to the boss, so... If that's probably, like, the... Not Holy Grail, but, like, the next big thing to be discovered. I am not clipped into the wall. I was too close to the corner. Ah, please. Alright, there we go. So we do a super jump there, and now we're just gonna fight Facade. This isn't a glitch. This is just... I don't even know what this is. This is just bad coding. Essentially... the game has Facade's hitbox still active when you enter the room. So you can just get 3 easy hits. That's Dungeon 6. Yeah, I guess. But I mean... In this sense, it's like... The coding's just... They just left the hitbox there until he fully spawned. Like... I don't know, man. I don't know. Alright, so that's Dungeon 6. The intentional way, of course. What, you didn't do that in your casual playthrough? Anyways. Now we're out here. And we're gonna get to Dungeon 5. Again, in the perfectly intentional way. Because Dungeon 5 is this way, right? It's north. Want to get as far north as possible. Hello, bomb fairies. So, worst cave in the game because of that door location. And now we're just gonna, you know, casually... Just, go to Dungeon 5. Hello, Dungeon 6. Oh, chest. And, perfectly normal rooms. I don't see what you're talking about. Armos in here. Do we got Raft? Ooh, we got Raft Spark. Let's go, Raft Spark. Coming up is a trick called a flock clip. Shout out to the flock de jour. If we hold diagonal while interacting with an object that has text, it will push us into the wall, and we can abuse that to... clip into that, and then we don't need a key, and we can just super jump out, and then we don't need the nightmare key because super jumps exist, and oh hey, we're in the boss fight now. Slime-eel. Okay, so this fight can be really weird. I missed. It's like kind of RNG and you can react to it, but sometimes he just spawns in a bad... Wow, okay. I really stuck to my guns with that, and it actually paid off. Good. So now with Slime-eel out of the way, we're gonna be now heading to Dungeon 4. Again, in the most perfectly intentional way with the magic rod. Fun fact about the magic rod: in the original version of the game, released on the Game Boy, you can abuse the magic rod to despawn entire rooms of enemies and bosses. And that's fun. Shoutouts to the original game. Shoutouts to the original game for being really broken. Ooh, my mashing's a bit slow today. My hands are a little cold. Be fine though. So now we're just gonna go to the Bat Cave. Well, part of the Bat Cave. And then get hit by a shark. No. And then forget how the video games work. Whoa, hold up. Alright, Shark Boy. There we go. Perfect. So now if we go up here, for some reason, the Rooster House music plays. And I love it because it just is a total tone breaker, and I love it. But now we have to leave it alone because we have to go to Dungeon 4. So I just like shooting the magic rod there. Now we're going to be doing the hardest boss fight in the entire game. So hard. It's so difficult. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. It's so difficult, man. I mean, it's not like he's dead already, right? But in all seriousness, that fight, like, even casual, is just weirdly easy. Like, even without bomb arrows, if you just use the sword, it's just... I don't know, man. Alright, coming up is that, that little bit that I was talking about before where super swimming can be a little, scary. I'm actually going to do a safety save and quit. Normally in PB attempts, I just go for, it, but since it's a marathon, I'll just do a safety save. Doesn't lose that much time anyways. So my goal here is to try to get on... Ooh, we're actually on a good Y position. We want to be on a good Y position because in the midst of the super swim, once we get to a certain tile that we want to jump and transition down like that. If I were to be a couple pixels off, I would have to save and quit. And if I were too low, I would transition down and I would crash the game. But it's not that difficult if you are careful about it. So now we're going to be fighting the Dungeon 3 boss. Oh yeah, we're in Dungeon 3 again. Welcome back to Dungeon 3. This fight is actually a little... not challenging per se, but like... can be a little weird. It was alright. That was a pretty decent fight. So that's Dungeon 3. I'd say that's probably one of the hardest fights in the run, just because you don't have Piece of Power. In every other category, you would have Piece of Power for that fight, but because we don't, we have to fight him normally. And the quick kill can be a little weird, especially if he jumps in weird areas. Alright, so now... back to some familiar grounds. We never opened Dungeon 3. Hello, Owl. We haven't talked to you since... before Dungeon 1? I'm pretty sure. Anyways. Now coming up is a bit of new tech that was... well, a new, like, discovery for the category, I guess, that was found fairly recently. And we're actually gonna be doing a trick called a shack jump. And normally, how we would do it is we would do a upward shack jump, but we can actually just do a downwards one like that. And wow, I don't think I've ever transitioned like that before. Okay, well, it's fine. I'll show it off again. There you go. A shack jump essentially is if you push up against diagonally up against a pushable object or an interactable object, and then jump and hold the opposite direction, it acts like a super jump. And we can use that to get to that side of the cave. Normally we would do a shack jump upward and then go around and do another super jump, but thanks to Node Kaju, we actually don't need to worry about that anymore. And because we do that twice, and it saves 8 seconds each time, we actually save a grand total of 16 seconds with that. So shoutouts to Node. Because 16 seconds is a lot. There. Oh, my menu is really screwed up. Actually, no, it's fine. Never mind. We're fine. We're fine. Alright, so this is the genie. This fight takes forever. 6. Also, so he likes to play with fire, huh? Well, we're gonna fight fire with fire. And now he's dead. The magic rod just melts this guy like butter. And we just do a little super jump there. And now we have the conch horn, and that is dungeon 2. So we're going to be doing that whole sequence again with the shack jump, but this time hopefully better. I guess I should note that the current world record for this category is a... Hold up. Is a 34:46 by me. And just the other day, actually yesterday, I was doing a no reset run for a submission video for just general submissions for marathons, and I got a 34:48. And now I want to grind this category again. What am I doing? My mind is just losing it right now. All right. Hello, like. Oh my god, that is the worst RNG I've ever seen on that like. All right, so we're gonna actually do this right this time. Perfect. Magnifique. So now we're gonna do the same thing that we did before. We're gonna do a super swim in dungeon 4. I want to make our way to dungeon 1, and we're gonna fight Moldorm. This is actually coming up. This can be very detrimental to a run. It's not too bad, but it can be scary. We don't want to go into that staircase there because we abuse the fact that we have the nightmare key in dungeon 4. And so if we... Oh wow, Moldorm was actually nice. So if we go into that transition, we won't have the nightmare key, and we'd have to get it normally. So that's dungeon 1. There it is. Very nice. And now it is time to make our way to the final boss. In the traditional way, of course. We are going to play the ballad of the windfish in front of the egg and hear the beautiful song. Trust me, we will. So we're going to play the Mambo's Mambo because we got to get close to the egg, you know? Just how we normally do. So we're just gonna go down here because I just want to take a quest, have a nice little stroll down Koholint, and I'm just gonna go to the egg in the Dream Shrine. You know, the egg's in the Dream Shrine, right? I mean, it's in a dream. This whole game's a dream. Spoiler alert. So of course it's got to be in here, right? Of course, it has to be in here. Dream Shrine. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. It's in here. And with dreams, we can do whatever we want in them. Like that. That was weird. Okay, whatever. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, I mean, we can just break the laws of physics in a dream, right? I mean, that's how dreams work. We can just do this, right? Perfectly legal. Totally intended. Definitely the way that... I was gonna say Miyamoto intended, but Miyamoto did not make this game. Oh my god, how did I get that? Okay. So what I just did there is another bomb trigger to skip the text on the nightmare fight. So now we just awkwardly don't have music. So now we actually have a manipulation for the energy balls and blue balls. Normally it's a 50-50 shot. And if you and it can either be a blue ball or an energy ball. But instead, we can actually manipulate that. I'm not manipulating it right now because it's more fun, and apparently we didn't get a blue ball. Okay, well, we actually get to fight Moldorm this time. Haha! I failed that Sunlock, but it's fine though. Not the end of the world. There we go. We're fine. Now we're gonna fight Ganon the traditional way. Okay. Now we're gonna fight a non-existent boss. Totally doesn't exist there. No boss. Now it is time for the Death Eye. Good RNG or bad RNG, please. Open up, my friend. Open up. Open up. Open. Open says me. There we go. So time's coming up when the white fade happens, and I'll let you know specifically on the white fade on the top of the staircase. So, and time. So there you go. That's LADX reverse boss order. It's a bonkers run, but it's a fun run. 36:19. That's a pretty good run for no reset, honestly. For a marathon run, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So yeah, this is where it's revealed that it's been a dream all along. So yeah, that was reverse boss order. Shoutouts to the LADX community. Shoutouts to Vlack, the prior world record holder for this category, like over a month ago. Shoutouts to my boys from the Men Discord, Mazurks, CMFP for stopping by, Royal Peaches, Dre, Timpani, etc. Anyways, that was reverse boss order. Thanks so much for watching.